Hi, everyone. I hope you had a great week one. I know that I certainly did, and I'm looking forward to moving forward in our study with you, our study of theater. As always, please email me if you're having questions, if you're having problems, let me know. I always want to be available to help you so that you can be successful. All right, so we're going to back up a little bit. Last week, we took a look at kind of what theater is looking like today, what I would think of as American or English theater. We didn't really look at theater from other parts of the world. We're focusing kind of here in America and England. So we took a bird's eye view of what theater looks like today. This week we're going to back up and look at where theater started and a little bit about how it got to where it is now and how it's evolved over the years and lots of different places. Ultimately, as I said last week, theater is about telling stories. That's really it. That's the basis of it. It's about telling stories. And humans have always loved to tell stories. We've told stories around the campfire. We've acted out hunts around the campfire or painted pictures on cave walls or done dances to appease the gods. Stories have been part of our makeup, our DNA really, since the beginning. Eventually, those stories around campfires became more structured. We began to put a container around what these stories had been. This wasn't just in what we call now Western civilization, by the way. Western civilization is a differentiation between Europe, what was happening in Europe, which would be England, France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, that whole kind of section of that continent, Switzerland, what is now Germany. That's Western civilization. Eastern Civ would be Asia. Basically, you've got India, China, Japan, that half of that continent. These separations of Eastern and Western were made before America, like what we think of as the United States of America, had been discovered. Of course, the indigenous peoples were in America, but America is going to come later. The United States is going to come later. So Western civilization really goes into Europe, and Eastern civilization is basically Asia. All right, so we're focusing on Western civilization. We're focusing on the plays that came from the West, but I don't want to ignore what was happening in the East as well. China, Japan, India, Persia, what we now think of as the Middle East, which is like Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan, those countries, Turkey, they all had theatrical traditions as well. That's not just something that was happening in Europe. But what we kind of think of now as theater does have its roots in ancient Greece. There were plays that were presented as part of the festival of Dionysus. Dionysus was the god of basically food and wine. So when the Dionysian festivals were happening, everyone's having lots of food, everyone's having lots of wine, and they're at a big gathering at an outdoor amphitheater, and part of that party was a play. It was a play contest, and there was like a tournament of plays, and eventually you had a winner of who got to win the big play competition. It was like the Super Bowl of plays, but happening in ancient Greece. Eventually that moves to Rome and then begins to make its way up through Europe into England and France and all of Germany, all of those countries. So what you're going to do this week is moving on to your reading and watching. Remember, your content folder has an introduction, which I just kind of went over, and then you have a box that is your reading and watching. You've got a video to watch. It's about 10 minutes long, and it touches on theater going back to ancient Greece, then moving all the way forward to contemporary America. 10 minutes is not very long to cover ancient Greece all the way to America. Okay, so it's definitely just hitting some high points for you, but it's a great survey so you can get sort of a base knowledge. Then you've got a quiz, like every week. You can rewatch your YouTube video, I would suggest putting the subtitles on your YouTube video. That will help you a lot. So rewatch the YouTube video, hit pause, fill in the blanks, etc. After you've done your quiz, your assignment this week is to make an infographic. An infographic would be like something that has charts or a flow chart, a pie chart, a bar graph, Venn diagrams, and some sort of way to graphically organize information. What I want you to do is I've put a video, it's about 12 minutes long, from the National Theatre, which is located in England, and they have done several productions of the Greek classic tragedy called Medea. This is not Tyler Perry, okay? This is the ancient tragedy of Medea. Basically, what happens in Medea is her husband goes off to war, falls in love with someone else, brings her home. This makes Medea super mad. So, in revenge, she kills their children. It's bloody, it's messy, it's tragic. That's what we're looking at here. Okay, so the theater that you're looking at, the National Theatre in England, has produced Medea several times. So they've got a couple of their historians that are going to pull out, and I promise it's interesting, they're looking at costume sketches and video clips and different notes from different directors that's kind of showing you different ways that this Greek play has been produced in the 20th and 21st centuries in England. Some of the productions, they tried very hard to have it look like it would have looked in ancient Greece. And then some of the productions, it looks completely like something now, with people wearing jeans and tank tops and having bicycles and things like that. So it's really interesting to see how the very ancient classic tragedy of Medea can be told in such different ways. So you're going to watch that video for about 12 minutes. As you're watching it, just take some notes. This is interesting. Hey, this is interesting. This is interesting. Take some notes. Then go make an infographic. Pick 6 of the most interesting things that you've learned and put them on an infographic. Now, I did a sample for you using the play Peter Pan so that you would see kind of what an infographic looks like. I found 6 interesting facts about the play Peter Pan and the original productions of Peter Pan versus, and also a play, a production that was done fairly recently in England. So I kind of compared the original Peter Pan versus now Peter Pan, found 6 interesting facts and put them on this infographic. You can use PowerPoint infographics. I like Canva. There's also services called Venngage, Adobe. These are free services. Canva has a free service that you can use to do infographics. So feel free to use whatever kind of platform you like to use to create stuff like this. So your idea is just watch the video, take some notes, pick out your 6 most interesting facts, and then make an infographic. The reason, by the way, that I have you doing an infographic instead of just making a list like in a Word document is that because theater is a creative medium, I want you to come to this material with a more creative mindset than just let me write down some facts on a piece of paper or let me type these out on a Word document. I want to engage the creative part of your brain as you connect and interact with these plays, which is why we're doing an infographic instead of just making a list. I know you can make a list, but that doesn't engage your creative brain. So that's why we're doing it. I put an example for you so you can see what an infographic looks like. And again, as always, if you have questions, please shoot me an email. I check my email every single day, at least once. Okay? Y'all have a great week, and I hope you enjoy looking at Medea. And thanks.